For the last 13 years, I've been on this crazy journey of learning what it means to equip the body of Christ. I remember when we first started out, we would gather the body but never share the gospel. We'd gather and pray, but we'd never share the gospel. And those are all good things, but if you've been called to equip, so over the progression of 13 years, we've been traveling from city to city, and our prayer has been that we're helping people, equip people, encouraging people on how to share the gospel. But what's crazy is every time I'd leave a city, I would still scratch my head and be like, but why am I not seeing a radical transformation? You know, in this course of traveling, God has graciously allowed me to even study under men like Dr. Robert Coleman, who wrote Master Plan of Evangelism. And he lives and breathes discipleship. So I learned discipleship from him. I observed it, but I never lived it out myself. And so what's happened over the course of, 1 month during this time of sharing the gospel, I began to learn what it means to live out making disciples. Man, it's been a crazy journey, crazy ride. So it doesn't matter if I've been in a city. It doesn't matter about the education. What matters is, am I actually living this thing out? One of the downfalls of traveling all throughout the United States is I'm never actually living in the city that we're always pouring into. And so somebody might come to know the Lord, but we do the handoff to somebody that says, I'll disciple them, but I never got to do that. I needed to learn what it looks like to take somebody really from the very infant stages of just wanting to know more to actually coming to know Christ and then beginning to help them grow and mature. For the last 2 years, our small team, we went through the entire Bible for 2 years, Genesis to Revelation. We taught through where do you see the Messiah in every book of the Bible. Man, I was a sponge. I was soaking up everything for 2 years, but at some point, the sponge has to be squeezed. But man, I gotta go take what I know. I gotta be squeezed out. The fruit of the Spirit, the fruit of what have learned has got to be exercised into my neighborhood. We cannot be consumers with the gospel. It's almost like we have to be like retailers. I know it sounds weird, whatever. Like we gotta be giving it away to people. And I think the mentality for 2 years for me is I started to get stagnant. And hey, I like just studying the Word. Man, part of studying it is going and sharing this as well. It's interesting, as I was praying through on my bathroom floor, that month was specifically designated what was called Go 2020. There's a group of believers that were challenging people all over, not just this nation, but all over the world to go and share the gospel. As I was praying, I was like, God, do you want me to do this? And he said, yes, I want you to share every single day. That's just set the framework. It was like the sails had been set and now he breathed life into this thing. I want you to go. But as I was going, it was like God then just added and make disciples. And man, I would have never thought for 31 days I'm going to go out and share the gospel that I would still be pouring into people lives, going to Sweet Frog or going to Dairy Queen or showing up at their house and bringing food. I'm still doing life with these people. But my original intent was just to go. My framework was always wristband and Bible, good. But it was like, take it one step further, Kyle. And I believe part of my calling in my life is to help equip people. So if I'm going to equip people, I need to learn this myself in my own backyard. I thought discipleship was, let me just put it this way. I knew what it was, but I knew how I was doing it. I've seen Dr. Coleman pour into me. I've seen a friend of mine, a professor at Dallas Seminary, pour into me. I understand the process of discipleship, but how was I doing it? I was doing it in the format of Bible studies. I was doing it in the format of let's meet and study the Word. That's really good, but there's so much more than just Bible studies. You've got to get to know their kids and their spouses and their job and their family life. You got to get to know their needs. And so to me, it was earlier on, it was just studies. But he's like, but Jesus did this for 3 years with guys doing life. Discipleship became like a lifestyle for me through the 31 days and now beyond. I came up with an excuse all the time. In the cities, I was always like, I'm not going to be here longer than a week or 2 weeks, so why would I even try to get my heart connected to this person? And so, yeah, I use time as a complete crutch to not pour into somebody. The crazy thing is, in my own neighborhood, I could still use that as an excuse, but it wasn't legit. I had to make time in order to, quote unquote, make disciples if I wanted to see life change. What was I going to do? Just give it to somebody else? This person to somebody else? It's me. We use a wristband and a Bible to walk through the process of somebody coming into the Lord. And you can really tangibly equip believers to do this. But there's no formula for making disciples. There really isn't. This is it. How does Jesus do it? And then how can we reflect what he does? And I wish I could tell the church in America, or the churches that are listening all over in the nations, I wish I could tell them A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's not. It really comes down to, in 1 John, it says, we love because he first loved us. When there's an aspect of love, discipleship happens. We've all been commissioned. And it's not just a going because it's something to do, it's what he's asking of us. If we really want to get ready for the return of Christ, you want to get people ready for the return of Christ, we need to go and make disciples. The city that I live in, Richardson, can change if the body of Christ would go and make disciples.